Hey everyone, welcome to Epic Gen Table Talk. Today we're diving into an incredible Canadian story, The Lost Heroes of Oro. This musical brings history to life in a way that's powerful, emotional, and unforgettable.
So some of us actually recently saw the show at the Elgin Theatre, but for those of us who watched it last year, we would have seen it in the Georgian College Theatre. For me, it was so incredible watching it in the Elgin Theatre versus the Georgian College Theatre because it was so much bigger, it was so grand with there was like gold railing, there was these red velvet seats, and the audience was so huge.
It was so much fancier. It's like when you look at the ceiling, you know how there was like those patterns everywhere? That was really cool.
You know, I actually have never seen this musical, so I was wondering if we could actually give like a quick rundown of what it's about.
Yeah, sure. So it's about Richard Pierpoint. He was an African slave who was enslaved in America, but he earned his freedom by fighting for the British, and he really wanted to go back to Africa, and he even made a petition, but it never got through, sadly.
And he was free in Canada, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so interesting.
Yeah, the show really shows how tough it was back then because the government had given the Black Loyalist land in Oro just north of Toronto, but the problem was it was really hard and it was really, really difficult to farm on, which was not at all what they had given the white settlers.
That's like really close to where I live. I've actually visited the church once, but I can't quite remember. It was a very long time ago. But it's just crazy to think that so much history happens so close to home.
You know, I actually read up on Richard Pierpoint before, and his petition really stood out to me. I mean, his perseverance, it was just so admirable and inspiring. Actually, I think that learning about Black Canadian history, it should be a conversation we have anytime and not just on Black History Month.
I mean, the musical really shows what they went through. Reading about it is one thing, but watching it on stage, that's when it hits you.
So speaking of the stage production, let's take you guys backstage at the Elgin Theatre where we spoke with the cast behind this incredible musical. See you soon!
We're here at the Elgin Theatre, here to watch Lost Heroes of Oro. There are only 3 nights to the show, so we are very lucky to be able to catch this one tonight.
Richard, we are so excited to have this little break to talk to you. We were wondering, how did you prepare to play the role of the main character, Richard Pierpoint?
Well, playing Richard Pierpoint, I'm privileged to actually be named Richard, so that was a start. Other than that, to get into character, it required me to really study his life and just look at the experiences that he went through, which really, really touched me. And I just tried to put myself humbly as I can into his shoes. Life was way harder for him, but his determination is what really stood out to me and really touched me. And I really try to portray that in my acting to really honor the determination that Richard Pierpoint had.
What part of Richard Pierpoint's history inspired you the most?
What inspired me the most was that he just never gave up, he never quit. Against all odds, he was given hundreds of acres of old land. You keep hearing him say that was impossible to clean, but he actually cleaned it, and he did it alone. You know, he was very influential in his time, and that's really what stood out the most for me in his story.
How did you want your performance to connect with the audience?
I wanted and still want the story to become alive. And so the depiction, I want the audience to feel as if we've literally gone back in time and they experience the emotions, the challenges, the celebrations of what those early settlers and first comers, you know, as black slaves to Canada experienced.
I had forgotten what to do. If only they would have put us black men close together so that we could help each other.
Watching you up there, you really did capture the magic. You took us back in time, and I can really say we are just so grateful to be able to talk to you. Thank you so much, Richard.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey Nathaniel, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're here to ask you a bit about your character. So how does it feel to get into the character of the bad guy? Is it like different than other characters you've done? Do you ever feel guilty about it?
No, you know, all characters in theater are what you make them, you know what I mean? So being a bad guy, I get some weird cheers, so it's kind of cool. I kind of like it.
How did you prepare for this role? Because it's different.
It's different.
It's very different from other bad guy roles.
That's
We'll
right.
do that much.
I was pretty timid coming into it. You know, you don't really get to walk around with the whip and doing that kind of stuff before. So at our first rehearsal, reading the script and saying some of the words that I had to say, it kind of took me back a little bit, you know, because the times are changing. But again, you got to breathe through it, become the character, and remember that this is some of the Black history. Your request is denied. Good day.
Can you tell us how you pronounce Canada in Masterville?
I'll see you up in Canada.
We're here with Natalie, who plays one of our female leads, Rumi and Chantel. Can you tell us about your character? Characters?
So I play Chantel, who is a girl that lives in Barrie, Ontario, that's just finding out that she has ancestors that came through the Underground Railroad. She's excited about the history of her bloodline. Rumi now is an ancestor of hers, and she came through the Underground Railroad and has some obstacles along the way that she's tried to overcome, and she's come to a new community now where it seems promising.
How did you connect with these two roles? Because they're very, very different. Like, you can see the contrast in your characters.
Yeah. I will say that with Chantel, for myself, I mean, I'm Canadian, but I do have Jamaican roots. And for the last 10 years, I've been looking up my ancestry and looking up my roots, my family tree. So the excitement in Chantel and finding out, like uncovering some things about the history of her ancestors and what they went through is what I connect with that. With Rumi now, I guess the discrimination, racial discrimination, prejudice, racism, I can connect with. I would say I've gone through a lot of hardships in life. And I think that is what I can connect with, because there's times I'm on that stage and I feel like I'm about to cry, like really boo-hoo cry, and I have to hold it back.
What is your favorite part or best part in being in this musical?
The best part? I have to pick one? I have to pick one? Like scene or just the best part overall?
Overall, your experience.
Well, I would say the best part of being a part of this is being a part of history and being shared with the audience, and also educating the audience, and also seeing the little kiddies come out. Oh my gosh, I love performing in front of children. Yeah, and seeing their happy faces.
I am completely loving your performance so far. You are doing so great at capturing the magic, and you really bring these characters to life. Like, it's beautiful.
Oh,
We're so glad to be able to have this opportunity to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shine on our own town, a community, a very own place to call our own. Be glad.
Who am I here with?
Ife.
And can you guys tell us a bit about your characters?
Ande is a firecracker, and Ande is like the comic relief of the show, and he's that guy that you don't want to miss. He's always doing something little here and there, but he's also Richard's right-hand man, you know.
Yeah.
And Richard couldn't breathe without him, you know.
Alright, so for Richard is the guy that is more serious and trying to figure stuff out. He's a guy with a lot of dreams, and you know, he wants to make Canada a better place in the future for black people. So that tells more of Richard. So I try to be serious more.
But there are two Richards, right? So you play the younger version of Richard.
Yes.
What is it like to play alongside old Richard, whose name is actually Richard, and be the same person?
It is very interesting because Richard is more experienced, and like I feel like he's someone I kind of look up to because I see how confident he is. This is my first time actually playing a main character, so I try to match his energy based on the fact that I'm young Richard. So being young Richard is fun. It's a lot different sides of me, and I'm looking for more, you know. Looking forward to seeing the other things I could do. Right now, I just found out one. I could be young Richard.
And for both of you, before you go, what is it like playing alongside each other? Like you said, Ande is young Richard's right hand, both Richards actually. Ande is Richard's right-hand man. So you guys are like best friends, but then you argue, and then you're not best friends, but then you are. What's that like?
The thing is, he's very stubborn, so I tried to like tell him every time. He wanted to fight me because of my name, and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? I will keep this name, it was meant for me, you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm just a logical one. Like, I think things through.
Is it lie?
Why would you keep the name of
That's not logical.
Who took us? Why? Like, you shouldn't do that in the first place. But I mean, he's a great guy here, and
He just roasted you though.
no, I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide.
Bonus conspiracy. They say that they couldn't find where Richard was laid, and old Richard doesn't age. So, what if he's for real Richard Pierre?
Guess there's one way to find out. Or I guess we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know.
Kanye. Kanye style.
Thank you, Ev and Ife, for joining us on Epic Gen Table Talk and a feature of John from our chorale.
Chee! So I can go home to me. But why did you fight? Why not go back to Master Pierpoint since you love his name so much?
Because it is my name.
Wow, those interviews were amazing. It makes me appreciate the show even more. We actually have some behind the scenes clips, videos, and photos for you guys to check out.
Listen, like, you understand? It looks like a stone. No, it's getting closer.
Yeah, it's insane how much work got put into this performance. The energy and emotion shown here is just crazy.
These performances really bring the history into life. I mean, Richard Pierpoint wasn't just fighting for himself, but for a better future.
And guess what? Tia, one of our hosts, was actually in the musical.
So, Tia, we actually have a couple questions for you. We know you're super exhausted after this show, but now that it's over, how are you feeling about it? And we know that you did a ton of behind-the-scenes work, so what was that like?
Yes, I've been very exhausted, still exhausted even though as I'm recording this it has been a week past. But Lost Heroes of Oro, especially this year, I've done it 3 times before now, this is my 3rd time, And I've got to see it grown since we did it at a small theater in Barrie to all the way now here to the Elgin Theatre. And to do it at the Elgin Theatre was such an experience. It's a beautiful theater. If you haven't gone, totally recommend it. But behind the scenes, not only was I juggling my own roles as the chorale, but I was also juggling doing media. So any social media that you see on any of the social media platforms for Lost Heroes at Lost Heroes of Oro _musical was all run by me. All the posts were made by me. All the captions were made by me. There was points where with the captions I couldn't even tell what I was writing anymore because I just kept writing so many captions. But it was such a great experience. Funny enough, holding the camera, running around in everyone's faces was a really good way to get to know people better, oddly. But also just the experience of being able to do all that stuff was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot of new things myself with dealing with social media and dealing with analytics and stuff like that. And now I can use that on myself for my own social media pages. But overall, Lost Heroes of Oro 2025 was a great experience. I had so much fun. The cast is so amazing, so talented, such great people, and it was really one for the books.
It's so cool that someone from our team was in it. And a huge congratulations to Tia for all her hard work on stage and behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
I can't snap, guys.
Snaps for Tia. And guys, we cannot forget about Alinka, the creator of this musical. She's actually been on our show before, and it's truly incredible watching her vision come to life on such a big stage. A big congratulations to Alinka and her entire team.
I can't snap.
Snaps.
Okay, so what about you guys? What were your favorite parts from the show?
For me, my favorite part was actually, there's a line that Richard Pierpoint says, and it's, "I want to go back home." And it's truly such an emotional and impactful moment that gets recalled to so many times. And the actor, Richard, captures that moment perfectly. Like, he's so incredible. And it really, like, I almost cried a couple times watching it. It was beautiful.
I agree. For me, it's also very difficult because like everything was so good, but probably like one of the first dances where they're introducing Africa, I think the vocals were like all, not chaotic, but there was so much going on that it was like harmonized perfectly and the dancing was so good.
I actually liked Tia in it. I loved her singing. It was great. And it was so nice to see her on the big stage leading a beautiful song.
I actually really hope that they play it again next year so that me and a lot more people can see it and the history, because the story, when I read up on it, it was just really, really inspiring.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this special episode and the powerful story brought to life on stage. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll see you here next time on
Epic Gen Table Talk.